One of the biggest troubles with reading a book is that if a character is making you upset or annoyed in any way, it's not like you've got this physical thing in front of you that you can slap in the place of the character. I mean, yeah, you could throw your book, but then you damage the book, and if you throw your e-reader, well, then that's all over. You could see why this is a problem when you read a book like Unravel Me by Tahareh Mafi. That's when it's really helpful to have some kind of plushie around. Still not satisfied. In case you didn't know, Unravel Me is the sequel to Shatter Me, to which I have a book review somewhere around this area. YouTube changes so much I can't keep up, so I don't know where you would find it, but I'm sure if you type it in the search bar, you'll find it. The search bar is still up there, right? So just in case you want to catch up. And if you haven't read the books, well, what are you doing here? Get to work! Let me start by saying Shatter Me is fabulous. If you guys have seen my book review, you know that I had nothing but praise for it, and I loved it, and it was genius, and it was interesting, and I loved it, loved it. But Unravel Me. I know what some of you are thinking. But Cassie, you only review books that you like, because reviewing books that you don't like is bad talking a book for an hour and it gets boring, and you only like to review books that you like, for the most part. Don't get me wrong, I liked Unravel Me a lot. I just have some grievances to air. That we will come to later. Let's start with the best stuff. The story itself was amazing and interesting, and every character was intriguing, and I love all the new characters and this world that the first book set up for us. The second book just took it and ran with it. Basically, this is quite a bumpy ride. Mafi spends no time just screwing around. We hop straight back into the story from where we left off. And it is intense. Albeit, I'm a little bit confused about the government in this book. Like, it's almost like they don't exist. There's Warner's dad, and then, like, some soldiers, and then Warner, and then, like, where they're hidden in the slums. Like, this world, I can't picture it in my head, you know what I mean? I don't want to compare it to the Hunger Games, but I'm just using it for the sake of explaining what I mean. When I read the Hunger Games, Pan Am was Pan Am. Like, I understood. I had every district looking like something in my mind. But as far as this book, I think we're still only in that small little scope of what Juliet can see and understand. Either that, or it hasn't been very well explained, or it will be explained later. I don't know. It's not terribly explained, what has been explained so far. It's just that we haven't gotten exactly a detailed explanation of the world in which Juliet lives. Like I said, the whole government to me is like Warner's daddy, who, speaking of which, is so messed up. I love it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't like him as a good person. Like, if we met in real life, I'd probably hit him with a hammer, but as a character, well done. He scared me senseless. I had nightmares about that dude. Kind of like a little bit more explanation about him, though. This isn't really a complaint against Miss Mafi, but I mean, there could be things that could be better explained. I'm saying it's not a complaint, though, because she might be saving the stuff for the next book. That totally might happen. It is set up to look like that's what's going to happen, but thus far, I don't know, we're just not getting a very clear look at a lot of important aspects of this fictional world we're reading about. Either that's a really clever tactic to get us more into the story and what's gonna happen next and why is this person doing this, or I don't even want to think of the other option. It's a little bit disappointing. But I don't think it's the other option. Mafi's too smart for that. I'm just saying, I'm a little confused about this fictional world, and I'm confused about Warner's dad, and he doesn't seem to have any solid reason for being the way he is. We were given some, but I don't know. Mafi, you might be holding out on us, which makes me even more excited for the third book. So Warner's dad is awesome. Warner is a great character, but I noticed when I was reading the book, a lot of you were concerned with whether or not I was now Team Warner. I don't know if I can make this any more clear. No, never. I like Warner's character. I do, and I like his and Juliet's character chemistry, and I like what they bring out of each other as characters. As a couple? Well, goodness gracious, you would just give Jace and Clary a run for their money for the award of the most dysfunctional couple to ever exist. And I don't mean that in a nice way. That's just, their relationship is weird. I don't mean weird as in badly written. Don't get me wrong, not badly written, just weird. I don't want it to be canon. I don't like it. You guys are really trying to tell me, oh no, Warner's changed. He's a good person now. No. He's still pretty flippin' messed up. I just feel icky about Warner. I do. Whenever he and Juliet were, I wasn't like, oh, but he's a good guy now. I was like, huh. I don't know what it is. I mean, obviously opinions can change and maybe in the next book something will change, but I don't. Really? He doesn't weird you out? He doesn't weird you out? He doesn't? You don't think he's kind of creepy? What? Alright, that's enough about that. But as a character, Warner is fascinating. He had some of the best freaking quotes in this book. Only second place to Kenji, who wins every award ever. Adam was great. A little bit flat, but not because he's not an interesting character anymore, just because he was kind of put in the background of everything else that was happening. I felt like this book was very much so centered around Juliet, Castle, Kenji, and Warner. I almost called him Will, what the heck. So yeah, he would show up to like a giant plot point every now and again, but I don't know, I felt like Adam didn't really shine in this book as much as he did in the first one. Again, not because badly written, because this is not his book to shine. So maybe the next one? Again? I don't... So I'm loving the underground place, and I like Castle, and I love the flippin' powers that everyone has, because this is not just, oh, I can see through time and space, oh, I can fly. It's just all very well done. It's very creative. It's a very unique tackle at science fiction, and I really, really enjoyed it. My favorite part of the book was whenever they were underground doing all that science fiction-y jumbo, mumbo, rumbo. All very exciting stuff. Although, do you guys remember what I said at the end of my Shatter Me review? I said that if Mafi was not careful, the romance between Juliet and Adam would suffocate the plot. What I meant was it would become more of a romance story and less of a science fiction novel about being strong and kicking butt. Which isn't necessarily an awful thing, but if the theme of the first book is science fiction, you probably want to stick with it in the second one. Congratulations to Miss Mafi for not doing that. However, as I said when I reviewed the first book, I still think the physical stuff between Adam and Juliet and Warner and Juliet just takes up so much time. Maybe you're into that. I don't know, maybe that's your kind of book, maybe that's what you like, but me personally, sometimes I'd get kind of bored. I want to read what happens next to Castle. I want to know what happens next to Kenji. So I guess that's not a legitimate point of criticism. That's just me. More like, I want to know your thoughts. Are you guys into that, or did you get bored sometimes? I'm just wondering. Anyway, great book. Great book. It was so exciting and so well written. I love the writing style still, with the crossed out thoughts and all that. So all the stuff I've said in my Shatter Me review still rings true in this review. And I'm so excited for the third book. And I'm just very happy. So now that you know that I'm happy and I loved this book, let me air my grievances. Which brings me to a segment I like to call, Dang It, Juliet, Get It Together. Dang it, Juliet! Get it together! What is the matter with you? I loved you in Shatter Me, okay? Like, I just wanted you to be real so I could embrace you and shower you with flowers. Okay, maybe not embrace you. That sounds like a bad idea. But you know, Juliet, you and I connected on a spiritual level, girl. You were there. You were right there with me. You were kicking butt and taking names and getting the guy. And in this book, you just were, getting the guys. Like, you're still pretty bad A, but a little less bad A than before. And I don't know why. Maybe it's because you respond to every situation by running off somewhere, curling into a ball, and crying. You spent like 20 pages crying! The best part of this entire reading experience was Kenji telling you to shut up, stop feeling sorry for yourself, and get over whatever the heck it was that was making you cry all the time. Bravo, Kenji. And now don't get me wrong, girl, I'm gonna give you credit for all the cool things you did in this book. You still kicked butt sometimes and took names other times. You were definitely hardcore against Warner's dad. I still love you, but this is a sisterly thing. And as your spiritual sister, I just want to say, keep it up, and I will spiritually kill you. Like, when you're not crying, you're making out with someone. This needs to stop. Get it together in time for the 3rd book, would ya? Okay, that was a little harsh. To be fair, that's just me venting toward a character, a fictional character. Luckily, you don't have to like a character for them to be a good character. Something some people should learn. And I do like Juliet. And as much as I hate to admit it, I understand why she was just so broken up in this book sometimes. Like, we forget Juliet's background. She comes from a place where she was deprived of love, of affection, of parental instruction, of friendship. Like, of course she's gonna cry a lot and, you know, throw herself at her uber hot boyfriend. Like, I get it. But things like freaking out over Adam, what was he doing? He was trying to find a way for them to be together and her just being like, no, we can't. Yes, you can. Oh, hey, Juliet, I've got a way for us to be together. No! Well, okay, can you at least let me work on it first and get back to you with some results, or... It's too hard. Go, leave me. Oh, hi, Warner. I feel like I'm being so mean to Juliet. I don't know how to put this in a way that makes me sound that I really did like the book, because I did like the book. I'm just airing grievances against Juliet. She was just pissing me off. But I guess that's a good book. A good book is a book that makes you angry, makes you happy, makes you sad. A good book could even be a book that just makes you feel like, gosh dang it, Julia, get yourself off the floor and go do something productive. Again, I loved this book. I feel like I have to say that because if I just kept talking about Juliet, you guys would think I didn't like it, but I did like it. I loved it, loved it, loved it. I can't wait for the 3rd one. So many cool things have been set up. And there's going to be more big battles and probably more deaths. No, brain, stop it. And there's gonna be Adam, who I adore, and there's gonna be Kenji, who I so adore. Kenji was amazing in this book. Like, top notch. As Simon is to the Mortal Instruments, Kenji is to this series. I love Kenji. Anyway, I just... The 3rd book, I need you. Because now that I know Juliet's pretty much got it out of her system, I hope, I just want her to get back into butt-kicking action. And I'm so excited. Also, I feel like I should clarify. Don't get me wrong, I don't think Juliet's weak or anything because she cried or because she's a romantic. No. My mind doesn't work that way. I don't think she's weak at all. I think she is very strong. It's just sometimes she withholds that strength. She doesn't pick herself up when she can, which is why that speech from Kenji, and I don't remember what page, was so awesome. Remember when he just like yelled at her and was like, get up and get stuff done. Kenji, 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 Kenji.